What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm so sorry. I haven't made a video in a while. I wasn't able to watch the Man United game, and thank God I wasn't able to watch the Man United game. I didn't even want to watch the replay because of that result. Honestly, that was awful. I did watch the Leeds game. I'll touch a little bit on that, but I didn't watch the Chelsea game because I had class, so I wasn't able to watch the Chelsea game today. But obviously, Arsenal. I mean, listen, I'm just going to recap kind of where we're at the last couple of weeks. You know what things are looking like for the rest of the season. Let's start with today. Arsenal 1, Chelsea 0. Arsenal go through to the Carabao Cup final, 4-2 on aggregate. And I must say, I'm very happy with that. Listen, we haven't played in a final in 5.5 years. I can't believe I'm saying that. Even in our worst period, we were reaching FA Cup finals and winning them. So in our best period since the early to mid 2000s, you'd expect us to have been in more cup finals than just this one. But we beat Chelsea home and away in this Carabao Cup semifinal, which I think is excellent. Chelsea, although they've kind of fallen off, they still have good players. I'm just going off what I heard from today, what the reaction has been. Apparently, Chelsea started with a back five, and they brought. Oh my God, that voice crack was crazy. They brought the heavy hitters on in like the 60th minute, 70th minute, and went to a back four and tried to go for it. To be honest, I don't really understand those tactics. I mean, on one hand, I get it because you're trying to stay in the tie, make things nervy for Arsenal, and in the last 30 minutes, go and try to equalize. So, I get that, but on the other hand, I mean, if I were Chelsea today, I would have gone for it. If I was Rafinha, I would have gone for it because, you saw Man United come to the Emirates and beat us, right? So if you go with an attacking mindset, I understand we have a great defense. You can actually go attack and try to win this game. But from an Arsenal perspective, I watched the highlights. We couldn't really break them down. Hincapié had a shot from kind of the right side of the penalty spot that was whipped. It was a good shot, but it was a good save by Sanchez. And if Gabriel was there to tap it home, then, if he was able to react well enough to tap it home, then, we'd be in business there and make life even harder on Chelsea. Then they now have to come out and play. They have to get 2 goals, and so it becomes a lot more difficult. But, Chelsea didn't really create much in that first half. We go into halftime, second half, and again, Chelsea, their main threat was actually from set pieces, funnily enough. Normally that's our strength, attacking and defending set pieces. But Chelsea's best opportunities came from corners, and they just couldn't capitalize. We then put on Kai Havertz, and Chelsea are really going for it the last seconds of the game. Ball gets played, long ball, header out. Declan Rice picks it up, finds Kai Havertz, and That's the game. He goes past Sanchez and he scores. And it's 1-0 on the night, 4-2 on aggregate. And that's that. That's that. So, it's very important to be in a final. It's very, very, very important. We have to win the final. We have to win that final, but we finally got past the semifinal stage. I mean, listen, 2020 we win the FA Cup, but then 2021 knocked out in the Europa League semifinal to Villarreal. 2022 Carabao Cup knocked out in the semifinal to Liverpool. I'm trying to think if there was another semifinal before. I don't think there was another semifinal before the 2025 Carabao Cup, which we got knocked out by Newcastle, and then the 2025 Champions League semifinal, which we got knocked out, deservedly so, by PSG. So that's 4 semifinals right there that we couldn't get through. And this was our 5th semifinal, and we go in there, and we get the job done. We should be going to the final playing Chelsea because Chelsea haven't been that great this season. And we probably play Man City. They'll probably go through against Newcastle tomorrow. They're 2-0 up. They're at the Etihad. I expect nothing less than a City win on the night, but at the very worst, they go through. So we're probably going to get Man City in the final. And listen, I think that'll be one hell of a tactical battle. We played City at Wembley twice under Mikel Arteta. One was the FA Cup semifinal where we beat them, and the other one was the Community Shield in 2023. I thought that 2023 Community Shield tactically was one hell of a game. It was one hell of a game tactically. I thoroughly enjoyed it. We obviously equalized in the last seconds of the game, and then we won on penalties. But this version of Man City is not that version of Man City. And you can argue that this version of Arsenal is a little worse than that version of Arsenal, right? But if we win the league this season, it won't be. We might pick up less points than that 23-24 team, but if we win the league, it's a better team. I don't care because you actually won the league. You actually got some silverware. And I think this version of Arsenal is better right now than this version of Man City. Man City are vulnerable defensively. They're very vulnerable. Midfield hasn't looked as strong as it normally does with Man City. I watched them play against Tottenham. They were excellent in the first half. Cherky was having his way with Tottenham, but the second half came and Spurs really picked it up, and they were able to equalize from 2-0 down to 2-2 to take a point out of that game. So Spurs, listen, Spurs are awful this season, and they're able to take points off Man City. They beat them at the Etihad, and then they drew with them at home, So, we obviously drew with them at the Emirates. We drew a Man City at the Emirates. And, but I think that version, I think that game, we really should have went after Man City. I remember we started Marino in the midfield when Odegaard was injured instead of Eze, and then Eze came on and provided the assist for Martinelli. And it was a mistake from Arteta. It really was a mistake from Arteta. But we go into this Carabao Cup final, most likely against Man City, currently better than them. We've outperformed them so far in the Premier League. We've outperformed them so far in the Champions League. So, we should be favorites going into that game, and I do think we'll win that final. I really do think we'll win that final. So there's that aspect of it, which I'm really happy about. But the Premier League game against Leeds, well, let me start with Man United. I'm not going to say much about it because I didn't watch the game, but that's an awful performance. It had to be an awful performance. I don't know what happened. I really don't know what happened. That's a game that we should be winning. I mean, there's no two ways about it. We should be winning. Man United sit fourth in the Premier League. They're 12 points behind us. They were 15 points behind us before that game. We should be winning that game, right? So, and it capped off a series of 3 results that were not good enough. The draw against Liverpool, missed opportunity, poor performance, especially in that second half. And then who do we play after Liverpool? We played Nottingham Forest away. Didn't create a lot. I think the goalkeeper for Nottingham Forest made 1 or 2 great saves, but we couldn't capitalize and beat them. We drew to them. And the loss to Man United just capped off an awful run of games. 3-2. It's the first time we conceded 3 goals since Luton back in 2023. That was a long time ago. That was over 2 years ago. That was in December of 2023. So, just a poor performance. It had to be, and it was our lead was cut. It was down to 4 points. 4 points ahead of Aston Villa and Man City, but then we beat Leeds. Man City drew to Tottenham, and Aston Villa lost at home to Brentford. So, we're back to a 6-point lead on Man City, a 7-point lead on Aston Villa. And that Leeds performance, I was able to watch that game, and I was able to watch the replay. I didn't watch it live, but I watched the replay. Fantastic performance. Obviously, set pieces strong as usual. We scored from pretty much 2 set pieces. I mean, the first one, you can say, okay, the ball gets cleared out, and then it gets whipped back into the box, and we take the lead through that, right, in the phase of play after the corner. But then the second goal, own goal, Madueke would have scored if the goalkeeper didn't get a touch to it. He would have scored. It was a great corner, and we go 2-0 up, and then at that point, Leeds kind of fought back at the beginning of the second half, but then we got the third goal from Gyökeres, and that was game, set, match. Jesus comes on, gets the fourth. Brilliant performance, 4-0, easy as you'd like. Back to a 6-point cushion at the top. So we look good. We're in a good position right now. We're in February. We're still in all 4 competitions. We're top of the league. We went 8 for 8 in the Champions League. Fantastic. To go 8 for 8 is fantastic. 8 games, 8 wins. I mean, that, now we have to replicate that form in the knockout stages. We do. We played some pretty good sides. We played Atletico. We played Bayern. We played Inter. And we swept them all aside. Beating each of those teams by 2 goals or more. So, very good stuff from the team. I'm proud of the team. But we need to put this league title to bed. We need to keep winning games. Man City play Liverpool. I do expect Liverpool to at least get a point. I'm thinking probably 3 points, right? So we can open up a 9-point lead on Man City potentially. Even an 8-point lead would be great, right? An 8-point lead would be fantastic. But we have to beat Sunderland at home. We drew 2-2 to Sunderland away from home. Last-minute equalizer. That was a gut punch, I'm not going to lie, but I thought Sunderland played really well that day. They're still the only team unbeaten at home in the Premier League this season. Um, so, hats off to them. They drew with Man City. I was very pleased to see that when that happened. And, they're a good side. They're having a good season. So we're going to have to be on job. And we're going to have to get those 3 points. Massive, massive, massive. As far as Big Six fixtures left, we played Liverpool and Man United at home. In those 2 games, you're looking for at least 4 points out of 6. We only got 1, right? So that's not good. But we play Chelsea at home. We play Tottenham away. And we play Man City away. If we can get 7 points from those 3 games in particular, I think we'll be in a great position because we should be able to beat the teams, below us. Obviously, we played Aston Villa twice. Our 3 losses are to either Big Six opposition or teams in the top 4, or both in the case of Man United. So, we don't lose many football matches. We don't. So I'm looking forward to these next few months. I really am. Can we do it? Hopefully. I'm at the stage where I do think we'll win the league. I really do. But it's not going to be pretty. It's really not going to be pretty. But we have to put Man City to bed. We really have to put Man City to bed. So anyway, that's the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Leave a comment. Let me know what you thought. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace.